Hello everyone, this is the Mental Health for Life channel. Growing up seeing their parents fighting all the time takes an emotional toll on a child. Their grades may drop, emotions may become unstable, and they might become prone to problems like truancy or delinquency. Some of these problems may persist into adulthood, making it difficult for people to navigate society. However, there is hardly a couple out there who've never had an argument. Even the closest couples naturally have differences in opinion. Therefore, not every argument between spouses necessarily has a negative impact on a child's psyche. According to surveys, 80% of children who often see their parents fight express a desire to avoid similar conflicts in their future relationships with their children. In this way, parents can teach their children important lessons. So, what kind of marital quarrels have a negative impact on children's psyche? Well, it includes things like physical violence, shouting insults at each other, giving each other the silent treatment, running away from home, or forcing one into submission. When parents resort to violence or verbal abuse, kids can feel like they're the ones being targeted. Also, how long the arguments last and if parents comfort their kids afterward is important too. Sometimes the trauma of witnessing parental fights can leave lasting effects into adulthood, a condition known as complex PTSD. A painful childhood experience can have a negative impact on one's self-esteem and relationships as an adult. In this video, we will discuss 5 ways in which people who've been traumatized by their parents' fights might struggle in adulthood. 1. Feeling pessimistic about life. The most important role of the family is to foster a sense of togetherness. However, in households where spouses are always yelling at each other or ignoring each other, there is no sense of peace. It's constantly tense and uncomfortable, making it difficult to build a good parent-child relationship and nurture a child's heart. Additionally, children may not understand why their parents argue, leading them to feel responsible for the constant fights and blame themselves. If a child grows up in this kind of household, their self-esteem suffers. They don't develop a sense of self-worth or feel like they're valued. As adults, they may struggle with feelings of not knowing their purpose in life or feeling unnecessary. They can't find hope in their own lives. 2. Difficulty in controlling emotions. It is said that children who witness their parents' violence and abuse over a long period of time suffer similar damage to children who are actually abused. Research has shown that it also affects brain development and decreases overall cognitive function. One particular issue that arises in adult social life is difficulty in emotional regulation. Like their parents, such people may have emotional outbursts in situations that don't go their way. 3. Inability to build trusting relationships. The parent-child relationship has a major impact on how we handle interpersonal relationships in adulthood. When parents constantly argue, it's hard to establish an emotional bond between parent and child. As a result, as adults, they may struggle to understand the boundaries in their relationships with others, have difficulty communicating effectively, and have conflicts more often. Moreover, children learn from observing their parents' patterns of interaction. If parents react to disagreements by getting angry or ignoring each other, children unconsciously pick up on these patterns. They may resort to attacking or ignoring others when they're upset. Effective communication involves expressing oneself through words while managing emotions. When this skill is lacking, it becomes difficult to build trusting relationships with others. 4. Anxiety about marital life. As mentioned earlier, most children learn from their parents' constant arguing as a negative example. Growing up in a home without peace, they desperately strive to create a peaceful household themselves. Some may never feel hopeful about marriage. They worry that if they get married, their home life will be just like their parents, so they become anxious about starting a family. They can't picture themselves finding happiness through marriage. 5. Being prone to mental illness. Children who see their parents fighting all the time may become emotionally unstable, and when examined by a doctor, they may be diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder or ADHD. During adolescence, in an attempt to fill the void of loneliness, they may develop eating disorders like binge eating and purging, engage in self-harming behaviors, or develop various addictions. Such mental disorders that develop during adolescence can linger into adulthood. Some people also develop depression upon entering society because they find it difficult to navigate life, especially personal relationships. Everyone has their own unique personality, so it's natural for people to have different opinions. Even in the closest relationships, disagreements are bound to happen. When this happens, it's important to talk things out calmly and try to understand each other. This can help relationships grow and develop. Sometimes, even opinions that seem completely opposed can help us elevate our thinking through thorough discussion. Therefore, disagreements are not necessarily a bad thing. On the other hand, marital arguments that harm a child's well-being often stem from a refusal to listen to each other and resorting to physical or verbal violence to impose one's opinions. It's like a battle where emotions run high and hurtful words or actions are used as weapons. In healthy relationships, understanding and expressing feelings with words and affection are key. Those hurt by their parents' arguments have seen how rough relationships can be, so they begin to heal by connecting with compassionate people who communicate kindly. It's crucial to engage with those who understand and show kindness rather than resorting to words or force as weapons. Many people out there can maintain such healthy relationships. It's important to treasure these encounters and work on building lasting connections. However, since meeting people is often a matter of luck, it may not always be easy to meet the right person. In such cases, seeking guidance from a psychologist or counselor might be helpful. Trauma isn't something you can overcome solely through your own efforts. Hearts wounded by parent-child relationships need to be healed through positive human connections. This was the Mental Health for Life channel. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.